Now it's connecting to Facebook. Okay. I'm gonna go. We're gonna switch. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Today, we are joined with Frank Chester, an artist, sculptor, researcher known for discovering the chestahedron, which is a unique seven-sided geometric form, which has given us profound implications to understand the human heart. Also, Frank's work has bridged between art and science and its connection with the forces of nature. Let's welcome Frank Chester, and we are so excited to hear more about this journey and this groundbreaking discoveries. Welcome, Frank. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Can you share a little bit about yourself? Who is Frank?
Well, I'm a real lucky person that I was able to bring this down and to research it for 25 years. I've been working on this, so I'm very fortunate on on the path of finding something new. And I didn't start out with anything like that. I just started out with a question. And the question was answered, and then I had more questions. And so I guess I'm the answer guy.
Yes. Bueno, hoy estamos con Frank Chester, quien es un artista, un escultor y un investigador, quien es conocido por haber descubierto el chestahedro. Es una figura geométrica del corazón de 7 lados, con implicaciones importantes de conocer más acerca de cómo funciona el corazón. El trabajo de Frank ha unido la ciencia con el arte. Y él está aquí para compartir cómo descubrió él esta figura geométrica del corazón. Frank, can you share the moment when you first realized you were on the path to discovering the chestahedron? How did this discovery change your perspective on geometry? ¿Podrías compartir, Frank, el momento en el que te diste cuenta por primera vez de que estabas en el camino hacia el descubrimiento del chestahedro? ¿Cómo cambió este descubrimiento tu perspectiva sobre la geometría?
Well, when I retired at 60 or 59,
Cuando me retiré a la edad de 60 años,
I didn't know anything about geometry.
no sabía nada acerca de la geometría.
But I took a class, and in the class, they covered what was called Platonic forms.
Y tomó una clase en donde le enseñaron sobre las formas platónicas.
And with that, I studied geometry on my own.
Y con eso estudié geometría por mi cuenta.
And so how it changed me is it made my life exciting at 60 years old.
Y eso me hizo sentir muy emocionado a la edad de 60 años.
And it still is today.
Y hasta ahora ha sido así. Nice. The chestahedron is a 7-faced polyhedron, unlike any previously known shape. How did you feel when you realized you had discovered something truly unique in the world of geometry? El chestahedro es un poliedro de 7 caras, diferente a cualquier forma conocida anteriormente. ¿Cómo te sentiste cuando te diste cuenta de que habías descubierto algo realmente único en el mundo de la geometría?
Well, I just just it built my enthusiasm for my life after 6 years.
Entusiasmo.
Yeah, my enthusiasm for life at 60 years old just took off, and so I am so grateful for this discovery. And actually, that's the best part of the discoveries.
La parte más importante del descubrimiento ha sido que me ha vuelto el entusiasmo a la edad de 60 años. You describe your work as combining both art and science. How does the gestahedron bridge these two fields, and what can we learn from this synthesis? Describes tu trabajo como una combinación entre el arte y la ciencia. ¿Cómo conecta el gestahedron en estos dos campos y qué podemos aprender de esta síntesis?
Is that your phone or mine?
I believe it was your phone.
Give me a second.
Sure, absolutely. Ok, vamos a esperar un momento porque Frank se fue a contestar el teléfono y ya viene. Así que si tienen alguna pregunta, al final se les responderá, pero realmente ha sido una gran alegría poder haber coordinado con Frank Chester y conocer de su persona en vivo acerca de ese gran descubrimiento. Como les indicaba, todo su trabajo está en el idioma inglés, tanto en sus 100 conferencias como también en su canal de YouTube. Y esta es la primera entrevista que ha sido traducida simultáneamente al español. Así que muchas gracias por estar aquí. Cuéntenme qué saben sobre la geometría sagrada. ¿Han utilizado tal vez la geometría sagrada en sus terapias? ¿Sabían que nosotros reconocemos las frecuencias de la geometría? ¿Ya está Frank de regreso? Do you remember the question, or you want me to go over the question again?
No, I know the question.
Yeah.
I have the question.
Yes.
Well, the gestahedron was discovered artistically.
El gestahedro fue descubierto de manera artística.
I tried science.
Traté por medio de la ciencia.
And didn't work.
Y no pudo, no fue por ahí.
The gestahedron was started with a question on what does a seven-sided form look like?
El descubrimiento comenzó con la simple pregunta de cómo empezó empezó con la pregunta de cómo sería una figura de 7 lados.
So the gestahedron was discovered artistically, and then it was applied to science.
Fue descubierto a través de lo artístico y luego fue aplicado a la ciencia.
If I hadn't had my artistic background, I would have never found it.
Si no tenía mi lado artístico, estoy seguro que nunca lo hubiese encontrado.
The problem is that many people use geometry, but not artistically.
Muchas personas utilizan la geometría, pero no de manera artística.
I've found 5 different ways to create the gestahedron.
Encontré 5 maneras para crear el gestahedron.
So, when it comes to geometry,
Cuando se trata de la geometría,
you have 2 things going on. One
tienes 2 cosas que están pasando. La
one is facts, and the other one is conclusions.
La una son los hechos y las otras son las conclusiones.
And conclusions or ideas or concepts or images are not facts.
Y las conclusiones son ideas y no hechos.
So many things that are coming through geometry are
En
not
muchas cosas
lawful.
vienen a través de la geometría.
They're not lawful. So, this is the tetrahedron,
Y este es el Shestahedron.
and it has 7 sides,
Tiene 7 lados,
7 points,
7 puntas, 7 ángulos.
and it has 12 edges.
Y tiene 12 lados.
This is not a Platonic poem.
Y no es una figura platónica.
The reason is because this face is different than this face.
La razón es porque esta cara es diferente a esta otra cara de acá.
This is a kite, and this is a triangle.
Y tenemos los triángulos y la forma de las cometas.
And they have the same surface areas, all 7.
Tienen las mismas áreas de áreas.
So let me start with this. If you draw a circle,
Si tú
Now,
dibujas un
remember,
círculo,
any size,
cualquier tamaño,
and then you draw a second circle,
y luego dibujas otro segundo círculo,
and you have 2. Now they're both the same size,
y ahora tienes dos del mismo tamaño.
and the center of this circle,
Y en el centro de este círculo,
you move over to the edge, which is the periphery,
te mueves hacia a la periferia,
and now you make the second circle.
y ahora haces el segundo círculo.
And this part right here,
Y esa parte que estoy
Vesica.
indicando es la vésica.
and the distance from here to here,
Y la
And
distancia de aquí a
here.
acá
and from here to here,
y la acá a acá
are all the same.
son la misma.
Now, if
Ahora-
I draw a line from here to here,
Ahora la distancia de ahí a allá
and a line from the center to the center,
y la línea del centro al centro,
I get a cross.
hice una cruz.
And it looks like this.
Que es así, como le indico.
No matter what size circle you use, you always get the same cross.
No importa el tamaño del círculo, siempre llegas a la misma cruz.
So if I take a stick and make it exactly the size of the top to the bottom,
Si tomo un palo o una regla, va a ser el mismo tamaño.
and I put that stick
Y
The
pongo
same
ese palo
into a cube,
ujú,
that's known as root 3.
esa es la raíz de 3.
So root 3 in a cube
Entonces, la raíz de 3 en un cubo
is root 3 in a vesica.
es una raíz de 3 y es una vésica.
So to make sure that this is right with the cube,
Y estar seguros de que esto está coordinado con el cubo.
you have to make sure that's the same size as the cross and the vesica.
Estar que es el mismo tamaño de la cruz de la vésica.
So here it is. Here's the
Entonces está
green.
aquí.
This is really important because this geometry is very, very significant in the world of geometry. And
Y esto es muy significativo en el mundo de la geometría.
I'll put it down to the bottom of the cube, then you can see that it's accurate. See how it's at the bottom? See
Ujú.
where it's the same. And if I put it right up to here, it's the same. See?
Wow.
Now that's amazing. So anytime you draw this, you are drawing a 3-dimensional cube. And remember, this is 2-dimension.
Recuerda que esto es de 2 dimensiones y el cubo es de 3 dimensiones.
So This geometry was one of the first ever discovered by the human being.
Y esta es una de las figuras geométricas, una de las primeras descubiertas por las personas o por la humanidad.
And it's one of the most sacred geometric symbols ever derived.
Y es una de las más importantes de la humanidad, derivadas de la humanidad.
It's the balance between harmony.
Es el balance de la armonía.
And it's been used as the union of heaven and earth.
Y muchas personas lo utilizan entre la unión del
It's the
cielo
it's the balance between opposites.
y es el balance entre opuestos también.
All you have to do is go out to the beach and make 2 circles,
Puedes ir a la playa y hacer 2 círculos
and you get root 3.
y tú
one.
obtienes la raíz de 3.
So this is the tree of life comes from this,
La árbol de la vida viene de esto.
the seed of life. The flower of life,
El
all come from this dimension, and all of those have root 3 and 1.
Y todas esas vienen de la raíz de 3.
Here you have 3 root 3s.
Y ahí tienes 3 raíces de 3.
Makes a perfect triangle.
Y hace un triángulo perfecto.
And you can put a circle in the middle of the triangle.
Y puedes poner un círculo en la mitad del triángulo.
And you can do this infinity or all the way down to nothing.
Y puedes seguir haciendo esto hasta el infinito.
Now, this comes the interesting part.
Ahora viene lo interesante.
If you take the chestahedron,
Si tú tomas el chestahidro
and I take root 3,
y tomo la raíz 3
yeah, you guys see that root 3.
y puedes ver esa raíz de 3.
If I take the root 3 out,
Si yo saco la raíz de 3
and I put it on the chestahedron,
y le puedo poner en el chestahidro,
it's exactly the
Es
size
exact-
of the triangle.
es exactamente el tamaño del triángulo. ¿Qué tal?
Now I take the root 2 or the 1 out of the cube, right? Remember, that's the 1.
Okay, so you said you take the root 2 right now?
And I put it at the top.
Y le pongo encima.
The chestahedron is made from root 3 and 1. The same.
El chestahidro está hecho de la raíz de 3 y la raíz de 1.
The chestahedron is made with only 2 measurements,
Y el chestahidro está hecho solamente con 2 medidas,
the red and the green.
el rojo y el verde.
That makes a chestahedron. That's all it takes.
Y
There's
eso
no 2 measurements out of a cube.
Isn't that amazing?
It's unheard of. How could you take a 2-dimensional form like I showed you, which is the basis of the tree of life and everything, and make a 3rd-dimensional form on it that has 7 sides? That's
Ajá. ¿Cómo puedes tomar una figura geométrica de primer plano y hacer algo de tercera dimensión y crear el chestahidron de esa figura geométrica? Impresionante. Realmente es un descubrimiento muy...
they are. There's the red and the green. And there's
Ujú.
the red and the green.
Wow.
Yes, this is the most amazing discovery ever.
Este es el descubrimiento más impresionante que se ha hecho.
So I'll show you again. There's the cube.
Entonces hay un cubo.
Okay, take the green off. And there it is at the bottom of the cube. Perfect cube. Now take the second measurement off the chestahedron.
Y vamos a sacar la segunda
Root
medida
three.
del tetrahedro.
I mean, you know, I could cross a threshold and be happy just from this, just from finding these two, that it is related to the vesica is unheard of.
Wow.
Unheard of.
Podemos ver cómo esa medida del palo rojo entra perfectamente en el cubo.
So I'm
Your
now
volume
I'm going to put a small one of these and see what it fits into.
Ahora le voy a poner uno más pequeño para ver.
So there's the chestahedron in the cube.
Ahí está el tetrahedro que estaba en el cubo.
It fits.
Y
And
entra.
it fits at root 3.
Y entra perfectamente en la raíz de 3. Wow.
Who would ever think that a 7-sided form would sit into a 6-sided form?
¿Quién va a pensar que una figura de 7 lados va a entrar en una figura de 6 lados?
So 1 point hits the vesica. I'm sorry. 1 point hits the corner.
Una vez que llega a la esquina,
Which is called okay. And then one edge, 2 edges, 3 edges touch the side of the cube.
toca el lado del cubo, un lado, sí.
Side right there. And the other 3 hit the face.
Y los otros 3 lados dan a la cara, a la otra cara del cubo.
Okay, so this is a whole new way of approaching Platonic forms.
Esta es una nueva manera de mirar a las formas platónicas.
This is asymmetrical,
Es
but the cube is symmetrical. Okay, so this is the way
Esta es la manera
that the heart sits in the body.
Así es como el corazón de esa manera está en nuestro cuerpo.
It sits in the body between 35 and 36 degrees.
En nuestro cuerpo, el corazón está localizado aproximadamente a 35 o 36 grados.
This angle has never been found by any of the cardiologists in their research.
Este ángulo nunca ha sido encontrado ni siquiera por los mismos cardiólogos.
So what's very important is when we go back to what I originally said, there's a difference between facts and conclusions.
Y por eso digo que una cosa son los hechos y otra cosa son las conclusiones.
So I studied the heart at a university library for over a year. I checked out all the library books they had at the University of California in San Francisco. And
Yo estudié sobre el corazón en la Universidad de San Francisco en la librería y leí muchísimos libros acerca del corazón.
And this is what I found.
Y esto es lo que encontré.
They said that the heart, this is right out of the textbooks that all these doctors learn from.
De todos los libros donde los doctores aprenden.
They say the heart sits at 45 degrees.
Y dicen que el corazón está a 45 grados. Eso dicen los libros de la medicina.
This was so exciting for me to find.
Esto fue muy emocionante de encontrar para mí,
Because this shows that
porque esto demuestra
the heart sits in a cube.
que el corazón entra dentro de un cubo,
Because these are three views: the top,
porque son tres maneras de ver al corazón. La parte de arriba,
the front,
la parte del frente
and the side.
y la parte del lado.
So that's what this is. Let me show you this. If you look at the side of the cube, it's 45 degrees, just like they said. And if you look at the front,
Y
it's
tú miras
45
al frente,
degrees. Uh-huh. And if you look at the top,
y si
it's
miras arriba,
also 45 degrees.
45 grados.
So they just proved my point.
Entonces han probado mi punto.
Look at me, how happy I was to find this. They are saying, of course, they don't know that it sits in a cube. They don't know.
Pero no saben que se sienta sobre un cubo.
But a three-dimensional object does not sit in a cube at 45 degrees.
Pero una figura de 3 dimensiones no entra en un cubo.
It's between 35 and 36 degrees,
Es entre 35 y de 36 grados.
which is root 3 in the cube.
Es la raíz de 3.
Isn't that wonderful to find that?
Wow, that is amazing. The most amazing part is how you found, the tetrahedron, the geometric form of the heart through art and not through science, but however, science is confirming your findings.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're doing.
Ujú. Entonces, él a través de la geometría descubre la forma del corazón, pero lo confirma con la ciencia que lo que él encontró está en lo correcto.
Oh, that's what I'm going to show you, that I put the chestahedron in edges only, no faces,
Está
right?
solamente en las esquinas.
So the bottom is also a triangle.
Entonces, la parte de abajo del chestahedron también viene siendo un triángulo.
If I spin it,
Si yo le doy la vuelta,
the two circles arrive.
los dos círculos,
There's an outer circle
hay un círculo hacia afuera
and an inner circle.
y un círculo dentro del chestahedron. I see that. Wow.
That's right. So the outer one is at the edges here. So if I turn it, it turns round. Hard to see though. And then on the inner side, there's a smaller one. Can you see that all? And you see those are turning into circles.
Y ves cuando se gira el chestahedron se forman dos círculos.
Okay. So I was very, very pleased to find that.
Y estuve muy complacido de encontrar esto también.
Because I found a dissection of the human heart from the top.
Porque encontré una disección del corazón.
So the outside of the heart is a circle.
Porque la parte de afuera del corazón también es un círculo.
And the inside is a smaller circle.
Y en la parte de adentro también hay un círculo.
And so what
Hay
I did,
círculo,
I made those two circles and put it around the heart.
puse esos círculos y le puse ahí alrededor del corazón.
Now this size here
Ahora ese tamaño aquí
is the mitral valve.
es la válvula mitroválvula.
It's where the blood enters in from the atrium.
Es donde la válvula entra por la arteria.
And then it exits out of the heart
Y de ahí
in
sale
the
del corazón.
aorta. It exits from the aorta.
Sale de la aorta.
And here's the aorta valve. It's at an angle. Okay. But, and then also to show you that triangle and how it relates to they call them cups or cups.
Y esos triángulos le llaman como copas.
See, the heart is broken into three. One, two, three. And right where the circles create is where the valve has been designed.
¿Y dónde están esos círculos? Es donde están las válvulas diseñadas. Wow, I see that geometric. I see the circle.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. So I have another a little smaller one. It might be easier to see.
Entonces ahí podemos ver la figura geométrica del triángulo y del círculo. So clearly we can see the triangle and the circle there, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
you can. Now remember, the heart is organic, so it doesn't make a perfect circle, but the basic geometry.
Ahora recuerda que el corazón es orgánico y no necesariamente hace un círculo perfecto, pero es un círculo.
So this circle right here, I didn't draw in.
Y este círculo yo no lo dibujé.
That's the size of the aortic valve.
Ese es el tamaño de la arteria de la aorta.
This size is exactly half of this size.
Ese es el tamaño de la mitad de este tamaño.
And the heart research says
Y la investigación del corazón dice,
that the mitral valve is twice as big as the aorta.
oh, que la válvula micro es más grande que la aorta.
Pretty exciting for me to find this. All right, so now here comes a good question that I'm hoping some people have.
Ok, ahora vienen las preguntas que espero que algunas personas la tengan.
Doesn't look like the heart.
No se parece al corazón.
It doesn't. That's not how the heart looks. We know how it looks, but it doesn't look like this. So how can you possibly take this and make it look and have the shape of the heart?
Pero ¿cómo puedes pensar que eso va a tener la forma geométrica exacta del corazón?
So if I blow a bubble into this,
Si yo soplo una burbuja dentro de esta figura,
out of soap, and it creates minimum surfaces.
y crea círculos menores.
All geometric forms are trying to become a sphere.
Y las figuras geométricas se convierten como en una esfera.
So when I blow the bubble in here,
Cuando soplo las burbujas,
these edges keep the bubble in a certain shape.
estas digamos, partes que mantienen la forma del círculo.
So the bubble isn't a circle anymore, or isn't a sphere. It's not a sphere anymore.
Entonces ya no es una esfera.
This is what happens when you blow a bubble into a chestahedron.
Eso es lo que pasa cuando soplas las burbujas dentro de la chestahedron. So you're saying that when you blow inside the chestahedron, it becomes spheres or it becomes like a vortex?
It becomes this shape.
Oh, I see. Entonces dice que esa es la figura que cuando él sopla esas burbujas dentro, Esa es la figura geométrica que sale cuando sopla la burbuja. So it's kind of a cube, right?
It's like this. This is it. And there it is inside there. That
Y
same
esa
shape
viene
is
siendo
right
la
there.
forma.
So here's the heart.
Aquí está el corazón.
Now the heart has 4 chambers. And
Ahora,
all,
el corazón tiene como 4 cámaras
and all the studies are always done on the left ventricle.
y todos los estudios se han hecho en la ventrícula izquierda.
Thick muscle.
Es un músculo muy grueso.
The right ventricle is very thin, so they cut it off.
La ventrícula derecha es muy delgada y si la cortas,
This is it here. They cut this off, and this is what remains.
y esto es lo que quedaría si la cortas.
And here's the chest of Hadrian.
Y aquí está el chestahedron.
This is the Chesterhedron bubble, and there's the real heart.
Aquí está esa sería lo que se parece a la chestahedro, de lo que salió de las burbujas, ¿recuerdan? Y este es el corazón. Entonces podemos ver cómo exactamente se parecen.
So now you know how the Chesterhedron becomes organic. This is how organic shapes are made.
Y ahora podemos ver cómo el chestahedro es una forma geométrica de lo orgánico.
And how they enter into nature.
Y también cómo entran también dentro de la naturaleza, también las figuras. That is amazing discovery.
Oh, listen, that I could make it into an organic shape and learn that that's how organic shapes are developed.
Y así es como digamos, las formas orgánicas se forman. So you would say that any organic, like our organs, basically, we can say that they all have a similarity with geometry.
They do.
Okay,
All
entonces,
have a design behind them. The organs aren't random.
entonces no es coincidencia que tengamos los órganos de esa forma. So it's no coincidence that the heart has that shape.
See, see, everything is based on lawfulness.
Todo está basado en leyes.
And lawfulness has a geometric pattern.
Y las leyes tienen su geometría sagrada, las leyes de la naturaleza. If we go outside, right, nature, and we observe a flower, we can observe their geometry in every single thing that we see around.
Absolutely. It's in those flowers behind you. So there is a lawful pattern, okay, that's connected geometry.
Hay un patrón en la naturaleza que está conectado con la naturaleza.
Okay, so the next thing I kind of would like to talk about is the vortex.
La otra cosa que quiero hablar es sobre el vórtice.
So you have a question for the vortex.
¿Tienen alguna pregunta sobre el vortex? Well, that's what I heard, in some, I think Rudolf Steiner also, he said, the heart is not a pump. Habíamos escuchado también a Rudolf Steiner que decía que el corazón no es una bomba simplemente.
Well, there's a lot of people now that are saying that the heart is not a pump, okay?
Hay mucha gente que está diciendo que el corazón no es una bomba.
And that the heart is not a pump is what I say about a fact and conclusions.
Eso es sobre la relación entre hechos y conclusiones.
They have concluded
Han concluido
that the heart is a pump.
The heart is a pump.
No, it is not.
Ok, es que el corazón no es simplemente una bomba.
They've concluded that the heart is not a pump. Yes.
Han concluido que el corazón no es simplemente una bomba.
But a conclusion is not a fact.
Pero una conclusión no necesariamente es un hecho,
It's an idea.
es una idea.
Now, Galileo, when he was developing his telescope,
Cuando Galileo estaba descubriendo su telescopio,
he had a friend, and his name was Harvey.
su amigo Harvey,
And Harvey discovered that the blood circulated through the body.
y Harvey descubrió que la sangre circulaba por el cuerpo.
And that was a fantastic discovery.
Y fue un descubrimiento fantástico.
So he said the only way that the blood can circulate is because there's a pump.
Y dijo que la única manera que puede circular es porque el corazón es una bomba.
That was a conclusion.
Eso era una conclusión.
So from that time on, from Galileo,
De ese tiempo
right,
acá, desde Galileo,
all the way up to today,
hasta hoy,
people are still saying it's a pump because of what Harvey said.
todo el mundo dice que el corazón es una bomba por lo que Harvey dijo.
So I have two examples that I've found
Tengo dos ejemplos que he encontrado
that I would like you to consider
que quisiera que consideren
about the doctors today's conclusion
acerca de lo que los doctores dicen o de las conclusiones de los doctores,
that the heart is a pump.
que el corazón es una bomba.
There was a baby that was born
Había un bebé que nació
without a heart.
sin un corazón.
It lived 2 days.
He lived 2 days.
It survived 2 days without having a heart.
Sobrevivió 2 días sin tener un corazón.
Okay. Next example. Some people have a pacemaker.
Algunas personas tienen lo que se llaman los marcapasos,
Operated and put into the body,
que son puestos dentro del corazón, del cuerpo,
and it can be controlled from outside.
y puede ser controlado desde afuera.
When they speed the heart up with the pacemaker,
Cuando aceleran el corazón con este marcapasos,
less blood comes out of the heart.
menos sangre viene de menos sangre viene del corazón.
So what kind of pump is that?
Entonces, ¿qué clase de bomba es esa?
Now there's lots of people who have all kinds of ideas about the heart not being a pump.
Ahora hay muchas personas con diferentes ideas de por qué el corazón no es una bomba.
So from that research,
Entonces, dentro de esa investigación o de esa investigación,
I was inspired to see what the Chestahedron said about not being a pump.
y de ahí estaba mi investigación, interesado en mi investigación de cómo el Chestahedron podría demostrar de que el corazón no es una bomba.
So I figured out how to make an example of the heart going through the blood, going through the heart, the blood going through the heart. I'm sorry.
Les voy a hacer un ejemplo de cómo la sangre va dentro del corazón.
So the blood coming into the mitral valve
Entonces, la sangre viniendo por la válvula válvula,
vortexes clockwise.
el vortex en el sentido del reloj,
The blood coming out of the heart from the aorta
el corazón saliendo de la aorta, digo, la sangre, perdón,
turns anticlockwise. anti-clockwise. So how does the blood enter the heart
¿Cómo la sangre entra al corazón
and reverse the vortex coming out?
y reversa a la vortex hacia afuera, en reversa?
They have no idea.
No tienen ni siquiera idea.
I figured out how it works, and it's very simple. You can see
Yo
the arrow.
encontré la respuesta y es bien simple.
Yeah. One's going clockwise, one is going the opposite direction. Now watch.
Una está yendo hacia la dirección del reloj y otra está yendo a lo opuesto de la manecillas del reloj.
So the doctors say that the blood goes in and stops.
Entonces los doctores dicen que la sangre entra y entonces para.
And it reverses this vortex and goes out.
Y entonces reversa el vortex hacia afuera.
The blood never stops.
La sangre nunca para.
It can reverse.
Puede revertir
And then go forward again.
y de ahí comenzar de nuevo otra vez.
But the blood isn't stopping in the heart.
La sangre no está parando en el corazón.
So I made another model.
Hice otro modelo.
And this one I put the aorta arch.
Y ahí puse la aorta.
The blood is coming out.
La sangre está saliendo
The blood's coming in.
y la sangre entra y sale.
So you have to look right here because that's where the.
Y tienes que fijarte aquí.
So here we go. Look at that. It's going in opposite directions. You see that?
Está yendo en dirección opuesta. ¿Sí pueden mirar? ¿Sí se fijan?
And then if you look inside the aorta here,
Si miras adentro de la aorta,
it's turning in the opposite directions as the part that's coming out.
está yendo en la dirección opuesta.
Can you see it?
Yes.
So the blood comes in clockwise, leaves anti-clockwise, goes over the aorta and goes down the body clockwise.
Entonces la sangre entra en dirección del reloj hacia la derecha y luego sale en dirección opuesta hacia la izquierda.
Now this is something that you need to know that your heart is doing.
Esto tú necesitas saber. That's an amazing discovery.
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing. This is very, very unique. Esto es realmente único, el descubrimiento, cómo a través del arte se puede llegar a descubrir algo como el funcionamiento del corazón.
So here's the tetrahedron
Y aquí está el chestahedro
with the form inside.
con la forma adentro.
Okay, here's the mitral valve.
Y está la válvula, microválvula.
There's the aorta
Y
coming
ahí
out,
está la aorta.
out of the tetrahedron form inside.
Un chestahedron en la forma adentro, el chestahedron.
The scientists have no idea about this, how this happens. Twice as big. So this one is twice as big as this one. They have no idea why.
Y no tienen idea por qué la una es más grande del doble de la otra.
So this is the chamber inside the heart.
Y esta es digamos, la cámara dentro del corazón.
So this is the aorta.
Esta es la aorta.
Mitral. Blood comes in, goes out.
Entra
In opposite directions.
en direcciones
You believe it?
opuestas.
So one of the things that I discovered is how this is a mystery they call an enigma.
This is a mystery that they call enigma. Ok, este es un misterio que le llaman el enigma.
They've been trying to study how the muscles in the heart work.
Han estado estudiando los músculos, cómo trabajan los músculos del corazón.
So this is an example. Study how the muscles in the heart work. So they figure that it spirals in one direction and leaves out the other direction, of course.
Entonces, la sangre da como en forma de espiral de una dirección y luego sale de la otra dirección.
They figure this happens through planes.
Y eso se dieron cuenta que pasa en los planos.
Sheets. They think it's two sheets on top of each other. See that?
Ujú.
Okay. And they spin it into a cone.
Y lo dan la vuelta como dentro de un cono.
Of course, this was done by a doctor 150 years ago.
Y esa, this drawing was made by a doctor.
Yeah, he concluded,
Él concluyó,
but was not a fact.
no era un hecho,
But he did
pero,
make, he attempted to understand how this happens.
pero él intentó saber cómo pasa esto.
And to this day, they're still doing the same mistake.
Y hasta ahora, el día de ahora, están dando con el mismo, digamos, error, o llegan al mismo error.
This is an MIR.
Este es un MRI, es un examen que hacen del corazón.
Yeah, it's based on magnets.
Está basado como eso magnético que te ponen adentro y pueden mirar el corazón, el MRI, sí.
And they've also tried other devices to figure this out
Y
using
de estudiar el corazón utilizando también otro tipo de mecanismos, ¿no?
using electricity,
Usando, por ejemplo, electricidad,
sound,
el sonido,
scaffolding, dissections.
disecciones,
None of this has helped.
y nada de esto ha ayudado.
The machine is not helping them.
Las máquinas no le están ayudando.
This was figured out
Esto se
without the
encontró.
machine.
Esto no se encontró con ninguna máquina.
So what happens is that there are 8 there are layers of the heart.
Entonces hay como layers, partes del corazón, uno encima de otro,
And they change directions from the outside to the inside.
y cambian direcciones hacia afuera y hacia adentro.
See, the direction is this way, and they cut a layer off, and then it gets this way. They cut a layer off until all the layer gets even, and then it reverses direction.
Wow.
And here's the real heart that shows that.
Y ahí está la forma del corazón, de un corazón real.
And this is 60 degrees, and the last one's 60 degrees.
60 degrees
Yes,
en 60 grados.
60,
60,
60.
60.
Okay. So they think it's planes. They think these are sheets. This won't work. And yet they're still using the same example that was done 150 years ago, including the guy that just did the one with the MIR. He's supposed to be the head guy.
Ujú.
Okay. Now, the reason this doesn't work, okay, is because sheets can't go around the corner. So if you have a sheet running here, up here, you can't bend a sheet of paper and then go back down in. You can't do it.
Ujú.
Because if you take a sheet and make it go like this, all right,
Entonces, una parte del corazón, digamos un layer, una
the sheet,
superficie del corazón.
the sheet isn't going around. You can't
La,
make it go around.
la hoja
So
no puede ir.
I have discovered what this is, how this works. They're ribbons.
Son como si fueran cintas, las partes del corazón son como 12 layers, no sé cómo se dice los layers, 12, o como si fueran hojas.
And here are the ribbons. The outside is 60.
Afuera son como
It
60
goes down and then it goes in the opposite direction. Look
y
at
después
that.
toma la dirección opuesta. So we're talking about the muscle, right?
Yes.
Estamos hablando sobre el músculo del corazón. Esa sería como la forma del músculo. Ahora comprendo. Entonces ahora podemos visualizar lo que él está explicando. Entonces si vemos que unos van para hacia un lado, los otros van hacia otro lado. Entonces esa sería la forma del músculo del corazón.
So this is the archetype of the human heart
Ese es
structure.
el arquetipo del corazón humano.
So these are ribbons. This is the first ribbon that goes on the outside of the heart. It goes over the top and goes inside and becomes 8. So this one is 8, which is the inside. Now, if
Eso
I
sería.
follow this all around, okay.
So the part that you're showing us right now, that's the inside of the heart.
Yes.
Entonces, lo que nos está enseñando es la parte de adentro del corazón.
So the outside of the heart is the same like as the inside. And they don't know this.
Y los médicos no lo saben acerca de esto.
And the top, okay,
Y la
is
parte de
all triangle. And the base, okay, they cut it off. They cut this off.
le cortan la
And
base.
all of them are cutting the top off. All of them. Yeah, they cut the top off the heart here, here,
Le cortan la parte de arriba.
here, here. They all cut the top off.
Oh,
Why?
dice, dibujos están cortados la parte de arriba del corazón. Ok, sí podemos visualizar lo que él está explicando, ok, con esos dibujos.
And the reason they do that,
Y la razón por la que hacen eso,
because that's the only way that sheets will work.
y esa es la única manera de cómo trabajarían, digamos, las hojas o los...
They also cut the bottom off.
Y también la parte de abajo lo quitan.
This is the
Why would
bottom.
you draw the heart and take the part from the top and the bottom?
Yeah, and you can see there's ribbons. Look, those aren't sheets.
Ajá. Nos está enseñando la estructura del corazón, como son como fibras, ¿no? El músculo.
They have no idea why the heart or how it does this spiral. They have no idea.
Y no tenían idea cómo esto sucede sobre la espiral del corazón. Entonces, como vimos, unos van hacia a un lado, los otros hacia la dirección opuesta.
And when they cut it off, they never see the shutter. How these 3 ribbons come together and tight into the very bottom of the base.
Yes, so that's in the bottom of the heart, right?
Yes, that's
Esto
right.
está en la parte de abajo del corazón.
And you
So,
also know that, yeah.
so Frank, are you saying that because of they're cutting the part of the top of the heart and the bottom of the heart, doctors cannot see what is going on inside the heart?
Or outside either.
Y tampoco no pueden ver lo de afuera porque lo cortan y no pueden ni siquiera saber cómo está la estructura del corazón orgánicamente por dentro.
Now I have one more thing to show you.
Y tengo una cosa más que enseñarles. Let me tell you, Frank, that we have a lot of people in here in our live, which I really appreciate. We have a lot of people here. I am sorry if I cannot answer to your questions right now, but I'm concentrating and translating every single word that Frank Chester says. Yo sé que hay mucha gente en vivo en este momento, les agradezco muchísimo. No puedo ver ahorita los mensajes porque estoy concentrada en traducir lo que Frank Chester nos está diciendo y creo que es muy importante. Si nos da el tiempo, pues yo regresaré a mirar todos los mensajes. So Frank, we're gonna say thank you there's a lot of people, wonderful people live right now. I am saying that right now we cannot answer the questions. We'll answer later because I'm concentrating in, translating and everything that you are showing us right now. And I think it's very valuable to follow you up right now. So go ahead, Mr. Frank.
This is the first layer of the heart.
Esta es la primera parte del corazón.
The outside goes in, it reverses and makes an apex at the end, like a shutter of a camera. So here it is.
Entonces podemos ver la parte de
Now,
adentro
I
del corazón.
put that together. See the shutter come together at the bottom?
Ujú. Entonces adentro
Right.
vemos cómo se unen los dos partes.
Now it's shut.
Entonces vemos cómo también se cierra.
Okay, the next layer is this
La
one.
otra parte,
In other words, this is inside here. And what happens is the muscles work their way up closer to the top. So this is 1 and 8. This is 1 and 6. This is 5 and 2. And here's the last layer of the heart.
so the yellow one is one layer and the red one is another layer.
And if I put them all together, they look like this.
Ok, entonces ahora cuando los unimos a esos dos, tanto la figura amarilla que nos está enseñando y la figura roja, se va a ver así.
This explains all the layers and why the changes directions.
Esto explica por qué todas esas partes y por qué y las direcciones del corazón.
So this is the newest discovery, and they don't know this at all. They
Y
have
este
no
es el
clue.
descubrimiento más nuevo y no saben. So, you have discovered everything like more, I believe that the tetrahedron, more than a geometric form, it also gives you the insights of how the heart is structured organically for one part. And secondly, also it gives us the understanding of how the heart works. So I'm pretty sure that, cardiologists are very amazed with your work. What do they say when you show them this? Do they agree with you?
They meet it with silence.
Ok, estoy
They
preguntando qué es el
don't
descubrimiento.
say it's wrong, and they don't say it's right.
Ok,
They
el descubrimiento del
back away like this and say, "Oh, you know what I mean?" Like they don't believe that geometry is behind organs.
Ok, entonces detrás de los órganos hay geometría.
Yeah, I have some doctors that are so. I had one guy from one of the top. It's called Mayo Clinic.
Hay un doctor de la clínica Mayo.
Oh boy, he just went wild over this.
Y
Uh,
se quedó asombrado sobre todo esto.
He said it was a Nobel Prize.
Yeah, I agree. Dice que uno de los doctores de la clínica Mayo estuvo muy sorprendido de todos sus descubrimientos y dice que Frank Chester debería ganar un premio Nobel. Yo estoy segura que así debería. I agree with you. You should be having that Nobel Prize. I don't know what the community thinks, but I believe that you should be one of those winners holding that Nobel Prize. But even if you don't have it physically, I think you won a huge prize. And I think the prize is what you have given to to the planet, to humanity, because geometry, it's not only a form, it also has a language. Estoy diciendo que el legado que le está dejando a la humanidad es muy grande porque no es solamente una geometría simple, es una frecuencia, nos da también el entendimiento de cómo funciona el corazón. So your discoveries are amazing, Frank Chester. They're amazing. Also, what connection do you see? Now, I believe when you create this tetrahedron, what are your thoughts? Because when we are connected with geometry, I can feel some inner peace inside. And I cannot imagine what you felt when you were creating or discovering this tetrahedron. How did you feel when you started developing this or when you had the tetrahedron in your hands?
Well, like I said, it just made my whole life exciting, and I was very, very enthusiastic. And it's hard to explain what I felt. It seemed impossible.
No puedo explicar lo que yo siento al descubrir esto. No hay palabras. And I completely understand because that's our language, Frank. Our language is a frequency level. Sometimes we cannot explain with words what we feel. Le estoy diciendo que hay muchas cosas que nosotros no podemos expresar con las palabras lo que sentimos. Y ahí viene esa parte nuestra que tenemos que recordar que nuestro lenguaje original es el lenguaje de la frecuencia. So I believe that geometry also is very important at the scientific level, at the art level, in the art field. But also I believe that geometry is very important for us because that connects us with nature. And also as a therapist, I use geometry for many, many things. And I cannot believe that you discovered this tetrahedron in 2010. Is that correct?
I started January 2000.
Oh, wow. Él descubrió el tetrahedron en el año 2000. Entonces, imagínense, what I cannot understand is that I love to speak about the heart coherence. And I just discovered the tetrahedron out there when it was really there since 2000. So how could that happen? I don't know. Es muy interesante porque él dice que fue descubierto en el año 2000 y yo también acabo de descubrirlo en la internet recién. Entonces estoy preguntando cómo puede pasar eso. And most importantly, Frank, most of your work and your wonderful work in YouTube and your conferences, which I believe it's more than 100 conferences, everything is in English. Más de sus 100 conferencias y su canal de YouTube está en inglés. Y esta es la primera vez que estamos traduciendo al español. So how do you feel that right now in this space, in this momentum, you are reaching out to those people who speak Spanish? How do you feel about it? I'm very excited.
Well, like some of my friends have told me that they're very happy that I was speaking to Hispanic people, and I am too, because
Yeah.
I think that your mentality is maybe more alert than a lot of other area people. So I think I'm very happy I got to speak to you.
Que él está muy contento también de hablar, que a través de mí pues estemos llegando a esta comunidad de habla español para que llegue este mensaje. Let me see if I can see who is in the live and see who we have here. We have Maya, we have Mercedes, we have Edna, We have Nora. Hello, Nora. Nora, I believe she's in Argentina. We have Mercedes. I think she's in Peru. Juruska, it's in Mexico. And who else we have? Elsa, I don't know where she's from, but she's also watching. You have lots of hearts and likes, so I'm very excited for this live event. So what would be your message, Frank, to those people or to those kids that are looking into the science and they want to explore the art? Where should they start?
Einstein said that the highest degree of mathematics is artistic, and the most artistic development is mathematical. So I balance your education between the two, or anything, balance whatever, because that's what the heart is asking for. So if you've got one side, try to look at the other side at the same time, because you see the blood is going back and forth and twisting in opposite directions at the same time. So you have to look at what you're doing, and at the same time look at what else is going on. Look at both sides at the same time.
Sí, dice que buscar ese equilibrio entre el arte y la matemática y que la verdadera matemática empieza por el lado artístico. Entonces buscar ese balance y que la educación sí debería ser entre lo artístico y también lo matemático. So, is there anything else you would like to share to us today?
Well, let's see. There was one thing I thought, man, I wrote it down here.
Mhm.
Okay. Using your hands are the most important thing. Everything you saw here, I did never use the computer once.
Ok, lo más interesante que nos está compartiendo Francesca es que todo lo que ustedes han visto, toda su creación, no ha utilizado la computadora para nada, ha utilizado sus manos.
Yes, you have to use these. Don't give these up. Don't give these to buttons.
Sí, tienen que usar sus manos.
Give them life from you. Okay.
Que las manos dan vida.
The computers can't take this away from you.
La computadora no le puede quitar eso a ustedes.
Also, there are 4 elements in the world. One is solid, and the second one is liquid, and the third one is gas, and the last one is heat, warmth. Those have qualities, and they also are connected to the organs. So if you have an organ problem, okay, you can identify what element that is. So you might be in too much water, okay, then you can work on those organs that are concerned with more water than others. So life is a study, and your body has all the answers, and the body is the universe. It's everything. So I would say is if you can try to stay away from a lot of these machines.
El cuerpo tiene todo lo que necesitan. Recuerden que tenemos los 4 elementos y si tienen un mal funcionamiento del órgano, revisen, probablemente estén con exceso de agua. Y él lo que enfatiza es que nosotros tenemos la capacidad y tenemos el cuerpo de organizarnos.
If I had given the requirements that this chestahedron has to a computer, it would burn up. It could not handle the information that's coming out of this chestahedron. How many sides, how many points, how many vertices, how many planes, what's the center? It has to be equal. The computer would burn up.
Exacto. I think I think all our organs are perfect, but the most perfect organ is our heart. And
Yes.
I want to show the,
No, it is the unbelievable organ. unbelievable. And then I can just touch a little bit of it. Okay. And then I can present that to you guys. I mean, I don't need any awards or anything. I already been rewarded beyond compare. There's nothing better than that I can come and talk to you.
Yeah, Marianne else also is here with us on live. She says many blessings to you. Thank you so much. And yes, I use the pulse of the heart in my therapies because the pulse of the heart has, an information in every pulse and from family constellations and everything. And it's funny because the form that I was using in my therapies to represent the heart is this one. And now I have a real one. I really have one that's a tetrahedron. I really appreciate this is a wonderful gift from Frank Chester, and this is a treasure for me. I really appreciate this gift. And also, I believe that you sharing this information to the audience is also a wonderful gift to humanity.
Well, I thank you for inviting me. If you want me to come back and answer questions, I'll do it.
Yeah, absolutely. We will probably, I don't know, we'll talk about it. Probably we can go a series of every with the different topics about geometry and nature. I think you're a very, very wise man. You're an artist, but also through that artistic gift that you have, I think you are a person who is very connected with yourself, and humanity needs to know that right now we need to understand that that awakening starts with ourselves. It starts with that listening to our heart, listening to that pulse of the heart, listening to our information, connecting with our emotions, because the heart is very sensitive and we accumulate so many emotions in the heart that later on we can get, physical problems. Estoy diciendo que es la era de conectar con el corazón y que debajo de ese corazón tenemos una información y que la era, el verdadero despertar es conectar con el corazón. My last message is, to everybody who's listening, who will listen to this, is connect with your heart, connect with your pulse, connect with your emotions, find out what you need to heal, because the real awakening starts, knowing yourself, knowing how your heart works. What would your last message be to the audience for today, Mr. Frank?
Well, the heart is a balancing organ in the human body.
El corazón.
Follow your heart. Follow your heart.
Y sigue tu corazón.
There's nothing more important than it, because it has all the wisdom and the intelligence.
El corazón tiene su inteligencia y su sabiduría. I absolutely agree. Thank you so much, Frank, for this wonderful time. I believe we have so many messages here. I believe that there's more people that are gonna listen to this. This video will be downloaded to Frank's YouTube channel also, and to my channel. So if you missed this one, I think it'll stay on Facebook also. So come back, and thank you so much, Frank. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll be in touch to see if we can collaborate with more information. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much. Have a happy day, you guys. Nice talking to you.
Ok, y Frank dice muchas gracias y que tengan, y ha sido muy bonito hablar con ustedes. Bye. Thank you. Y Frank dice muchas gracias y que tengan, y ha sido muy bonito hablar con ustedes.